Yeah, I guess how would you assess sort of how this played out in terms of to your game plan?
Great, except for one moment in time that I wish we had back. And when I say great, I mean, look, let's be fair. The Galaxy are a good team, and congratulations to Greg and moving on and all that sort of stuff. But with the shifting of lineups and players missing and stuff like that, I mean, we were right there with them. I mean, did they win the game? Yes, they did. But we, uncharacteristically gave them that goal. There was, some things that we could have done better on that, and that's kind of what makes it hurt. The job that the players did the entire year, because we can't sit there and just say, okay, since we started winning games, the guys started in preseason working hard. And we had bumps in the road, and we had different things come up, and everything. But that group stuck together, and they really persevered under some immense challenges. And then, you get all the way to a conference final, and you give them that goal. That's tough. Again, I don't want to sound negative. Joveljic struck the ball well. It was a great pass by Ricky Pugh. I mean, you can't take that away from them. That's what they're good at. But I just think we could have done a better job in that play.
When you look at this game, and I suppose there's two sides of this. On one hand, you can hold your head high. We played with them, but on the other hand, I don't know. Maybe it's tough because you did, you looked across the. Like, do you feel like you were beat by a better team? Do you feel like you were outclassed, or does this feel like a game where you could have won?
Of course it feels like a game we could have won. The flip side of blaming games on one play or, one referee's decision or one, miss, it's always a team game. It's a team sport. It's 90 minutes. And so did we do enough to hold them? I haven't looked at the stats yet, Jeremiah. What was their expected goals? I don't know. But all I know is that Steph had a save from Joveljic in the first half, a long distance from Pugh. Second half, they put us under some pressure, had some stuff. Okay, fine, fair enough. But, did we generate enough chances going the opposite direction? I think, Georgie had a good game, but is there a finished product there? I think he's going to get there. He showed some glimpses of what he can do. We had some half chances. Albert's set piece that their goalkeeper made a good save. Maybe the best play for me was that sequence where Nuhu gets up the line and, Jordan lays the ball back to Albert, but he just doesn't hit it clean. Albert scored that goal 100 times. If he hits it up, hits it in the corner, maybe we're up 1-0. So, again, it's really kind of frustrating because I don't think we got played off the park. I'm not so sure we did enough to win, but we certainly have proved that, even with, the team that was expected to win, we were right there. We were right there.
Is it fair to say there was a missing piece or missing element to this, that there just wasn't someone that was able to make the big play? I don't know if that's too simple.
Well, no, I talk about making plays all the time, Jeremiah. I mean, that's always what I talk about. But again, Georgie's a young player with a bunch of potential. Pedro still hasn't integrated himself to the team. Jordan and Albert certainly have good seasons, but, they weren't able to make those plays. I thought Nathan had a good game. I can't fault him for many things. Nuhu coming back from a serious illness to shut down Peck. Again, the poster child for, best newcomer of the year and talented player, yes. But we have a player that neutralized him tonight. So, it was an even game. I think it was an even game. And at the end of the day, they made that one play. And they're going through the MLS Cup, so kudos to Greg and his team.
Are there any, I don't know, do you look back on this as any regrets, anything that you feel like you could have done differently in preparation or in setup, or does it feel like you left it all out there, I guess?
No, look, I don't think I have any regrets right now. It's an interesting question. I'll obviously reflect on it. We'll watch the game, as painful as that may be. Do I regret starting Georgie? No. Could have been more conservative, put JP in there, but Georgie, I think, is, showing us what he has. We felt that we could go after them. Do I regret any of my other lineup choices? I mean, Jonathan Bell and Nathan. I think Nathan showed us that he can do the job. The other day in a back line of 5, Jonathan Bell was absolutely the right choice with Reed. So no regrets right now, but obviously things that we'll learn from and we'll take into next year.
Coach, how do you evaluate the season of somebody able to secure a trophy with a slow start, Super Cup semi, conference final, chip stacked against you? How do you evaluate?
Well, in our situation with our club, the season has not been a success because we didn't win any trophies. Starting with, Cascadia Cup, then you went to an Open Cup semifinal, you went to a Leagues Cup quarterfinal, you come to a semifinal and playoffs. I mean, we were close. And a lot of teams around this league would say, yeah, that's a successful year. But for our franchise, that really doesn't hold water. I think for us, it's always been about, at least getting ourselves into a final every year and giving ourselves an opportunity to win a trophy. The success that we had, I think, I caught the tail end of what Christian and those guys were saying. The success of this season has been Paul Rothrock, Jackson Reagan steps forward, Georgie, Obed Vargas. I think there's been individual success stories within the collective, but if your question was directed at, franchise in the bigger picture, I think we, always want to strive for more.
Matt, we'll come to you on Zoom for a couple.
Great. Boss, you go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, Brian. Just how difficult is it to generate offense when you're, backed up for so long, and I mean more than one player running up there? How difficult is that for a club when you transition to the playoff game?
I don't know, Maz. We might have to argue these tactics over a cup of coffee because I didn't see it that way. I mean, yeah, they pushed us back at moments, but we had them push back certain moments. Second half, we had them push back. Did we have some breakaways, Jordan, in the first half? There were certain things, transition game, we didn't want to get anything behind, let anything in behind, so maybe that pushed our lines back, but, I mean, I don't know, Maz. I'll have to watch the tape, but I thought our game was, well thought out, executed for the most part. We just didn't make that final play.
I'll take you up on the coffee, and I wasn't alluding to that you were too far back and that negated your offense. I just meant that you played stellar in the back, and then it's difficult in playoffs to try to get one or two, players on the transition. That's what I was alluding to, not so much.
I mean, look, you had Obed's chance that he got in behind. There were some other half chances, Maz, but, look, again, that's been kind of the story of our season. We haven't been able to come up with enough goals in those critical moments, and it's something we'll address.
And lastly, I asked the players this, and for coaches it's different. Just the suddenness, the finality of the season. I mean, what's there? How do you handle this? Stay here 24 hours because you've got administrative, the players do as well. So how do you handle the next 24 hours? Brian?
Well, there's always a process, Maz. Obviously, we will, go back home. We'll get on the plane tonight, and we'll have year-ending meetings with players. We'll get feedback from the players. They'll have their exit physicals. Craig and I will sit down and talk about the year. We'll reflect on what went well and what didn't go well, and we'll make decisions for the upcoming year. But, that's just pro sports. I mean, you got to move forward. We can't dwell on this too long, although, it might take me longer than a couple hours to overcome this one.
Fair enough. Thank you, Coach.
Nico, Brandon, we have time for one more here on Zoom. Go ahead and post aside here, Nico.
Coach, I wanted to get your take on how much personal pride is it for you that, look, I understand that maybe you did not get a cup, but you've been under some heavy fire, whether it's some of us media members to fans, and over the last couple of years, and the fact that you got this team to a conference final. I mean, there's got to be some personal pride there. I just want to get your take on that.
Well, I don't read Sounder at Heart that often, so maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't know how much fire I have been under, okay? Because Jeremiah's sitting right here. But certainly, yes. I mean, look, coaches in my position, that's just part of the job. I mean, the fans have a lot of outlets that they can, talk and, be a couch coach and, do their thing. And look, I always am going to reflect on, the job that I do. I think I've said this, Nico, many times. I said, look, I know when it's my time to go, when the players give up, they quit, they don't want to play, they don't hold the standard of this club, then I know my time is done. I don't think that this team at any point in the year ever gave up. They actually increased the application of what my coaching staff did, what they wanted to accomplish. The players persevered through a lot of hardship. The support staff to get guys back from injury, get De La Vega back on his feet. He's a much better athlete now. There were a lot of people that deserve a lot of credit. And so, my opinion is, yeah, we had a good season. I did a great job. But the fact of the matter is it's always the players first. They're the ones that do the hard work all the time. It's my coaching staff who are excellent. And then the support staff, they deserve all the credit.
Thank you, Brian. And just a quick one. I mean, before this game, Obed Vargas mentioned that he was going to be a Blake on top of Ricky and
I saw
the
that.
rest of the midfield. He seems to back that up, or he seemed like he backed that up today. I just wanted to get your take on his play, the comment, and how you took that whole
Well,
thing.
I love the comment. He was great. He's got a high ceiling. Let's see how long we can keep him on our roster. But the kid did great. Christian did great. I mean, look, everybody did great. I caught the tail end of your question about Raul, about some of the guys that are moving on. I mean, every single player that has played for this club this year has put something into this season. And I'm talking about, the big players, Raul, JP, Jordan, Christian, Albert, everybody, Yaimar. You got guys like Sota, Danny Leva, guys that came up for Defiance for Open Cup stuff. Our organization is strong, Nico. The organization is very strong, and so that's what I'm very, very proud of.